What's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to my F1 2017 mod career mode in Kimi Raikkonen's Ferrari. Today we're back with episode number 9 at the British Grand Prix. Technically round number 10, but if you did miss last episode number 8, that was a double race header at Baku and Austria. So if you did miss that, check it out. The Austrian Grand Prix, absolute ding-dong race that was. But let's move to qualifying here for the British Grand Prix. You can see an all-intermediate affair. And once again, like Austria, we got out-qualified by both Red Bull cars. A Mercedes front row lockout with Vettel in third place. Good to see, though, the Red Bull cars are improving and matching Mercedes and Ferrari, unlike in real life, although it does mean I have some work to do from P6, but let's be honest, I have a very comfortable lead right now in the World Drivers' Championship, so that's not much of an issue, and I'm going to relish the challenge to try and get up from P6 to, just see where we can get. Hopefully a podium once again, but we're going to go straight away to 5 red lights for the British Grand Prix, my personal home Grand Prix, but obviously we're racing as Kimi Raikkonen, so we'll just try and do the best we can for Ferrari today. We've got a pretty decent start. We'll go side by side with Verstappen, but Perez goes round the outside. What a move there from Sergio Perez in the Force India to go round the outside of Verstappen. Absolutely mugged him off and myself into turn 1. And so now he sees himself up into P5. We tuck in right behind, just ahead of Verstappen. But at the moment you can see up ahead it's the 2 Mercedes cars still lining astern in that 1-2 position with Vettel still in third place. But a poor start for me and Verstappen, all things considered, with Perez really quite surprising. Came out of nowhere on the left and just got all the momentum going into turn 2. So now we go into the Luffield section, trying to maybe close up on Perez. We should have a pretty good drive off Luffield, and we can try and use our superior downforce in the Ferrari car compared to the Force India. But obviously the Force India has the Mercedes engine in the back of it, so it will be pretty good. We go side by side with Perez, banging little tyres, I think. And so as we go through towards Copse, the old turn 1, we'll go side by side with the Mexican, and he'll keep it around the outside. Actually, he'll do a really good job, and we're going to bang tyres as I try to defend from him. But Perez is really not budging. Is getting the shoulders out. We bang our front left tyre onto his side pod there, I think, and Perez lucky not to kind of have any damage off that, and we're not lucky not to kind of spin off, and I'm trying to look behind me to see where he is and all that. I kind of go over the curbing, and so now Perez will go to the inside line as we go down the main back straight and into Stowe. Ocon and Verstappen go down my inside, so we go 3 wide through that corner, and Verstappen just about doesn't make contact with our rear end as he gets spewed off on the left hand side from Ocon's side pod, and so we're going to try and go round the outside in the final chicane, and we're going to re-overtake Perez. But that was very close. We almost lost 3 positions in the span of the straight and the corner, but just about got it. But Ocon has indeed actually stayed ahead of Verstappen and all of that, so the 2 Force Indias very good in this Grand Prix so far, and they've really been making up the order. Obviously a few of you guys were kind of noting that they were really poor at the beginning of the season, but now they're well and truly there. And then up ahead of us, look at that, we've got Daniel Ricciardo overtaking my teammate Sebastian Vettel. So at the moment it looks like maybe our car, the Ferrari car, maybe not the best in this Grand Prix. Now I'm going to go side by side with Sebastian, and so it's Hamilton from Bottas, then Ricciardo, and now it's going to be myself in 4th place there. We just about squeezed out Vettel, and so now as we go through the final corner onto the next lap, we'll try and chase after Ricciardo. But the Red Bull, the sole Red Bull, Ricciardo looking pretty good, because Verstappen, in contrast, looking a little bit weaker behind both Force Indies at the moment. But we move on to lap 6 now. It's time for our pit stop, and actually it's interesting to note that one of the Mercedes cars is already in, so I think that's Bottas ahead of us. So I think Hamilton has already made a pit stop there, because we're in P3, and that's definitely Bottas and Ricciardo. So I think Hamilton actually made a pit stop earlier, 1 lap earlier, that we didn't see there. So interestingly, he's going to try the undercut. Vettel has continued on, I think, so he's going for a bit of a longer stint, so we'll see. I mean, we've seen from previous episodes that sometimes the overcut works just because you have clean air there, and the way the mod works with the drag, there's quite a lot of drag effect, so maybe with some clean air Vettel can still maybe make that work. But at the moment we are in a bit of a train with Bottas and Ricciardo as we go down this very slow pit lane. But we've actually jumped Ricciardo. Actually, I didn't note that. We've actually jumped Ricciardo, so really good pit stop there from the Ferrari guys. And so now we're in a sandwich between Bottas and Ricciardo. We can try and chase after our fellow Finn, I guess you could say, because we're driving as Raikkonen technically. So now here we go with slipstream opening DRS on lap 7 as Bottas sparks away down the main back straight into Stowe. We'll go side by side, try and squeeze him out, but Bottas is going to have the better line and actually gets good traction. He's on medium tyres though, let's note, so I should technically have this. He locks up quite badly on the front left there, so we do a bit of a switchback move, trying to go around the outside. Now surely we should have the grip, but we get on the curbing a little bit, leave him in the room, and Bottas just well and truly gets that place and keeps what will be around about 6th place now. So some people yet to make their pit stops right now, so that's why we're only in P6, because there's a few runners in the midfield who have gone longer, who started on the medium tyres. But now, as we cut on lap 8, right in the middle on Maggots and Beckett, trying to set up another attempt down this main back straight towards Stowe. DRS wide open once again. This time, though, we're so much closer now, so surely we'll get it. We do a bit of a shimmy, fake to the right, go to the left, around the outside of Stowe this time. We'll have the better line, and surely this will be it now. Yes, it will. On the exit of the curbing, we're up into P5 now, and we finally got that move on our fellow countrymen. So now we'll try and chase after. I think it will be Hamilton. Yep, it will be in P4 there. Well, Carlos Sainz right now leading the Grand Prix, so Sainz going really long, getting a bit of short-lived glory there. As now we're going to try and defend from Daniel Ricciardo, though. He's overtaken us with DRS into the Luffield section, and Vettel has swooped around the outside. It's a fantastic move there from Sebastian Vettel. He's made a double overtake as he goes into Luffield, and so he's now up into what will be a net second place. I think that will be with Ricciardo in third and myself in fourth. We're going to try and overtake Ricciardo. We'll go down the inside of Beckett's there, and we'll get it just before the main back straight, and we'll try and get on the back and slipstream Vettel with DRS wide open to try and basically drag us along like we've done previously in races gone by. So just about squeezed through there on the curbing with Ricciardo, and to be fair to him, he did give me enough room, so respect to him to give me that room through quite a tricky section. Obviously, Magnus Beckett's not a usual place you make an overtake there, but now we move on to lap 14, and you can see I am on soft tyres, so that is the reason why my tyres look that bad on the bottom right. But you can see now the exclamation marks there, so I come in, I can't go any longer. If I went any longer, that front left tyre probably would have got a puncture. But basically what I was doing is, you can see clearly on the top left, everyone is on mediums. I was the only runner on soft, so I felt a bit awkward and out of place. So I wanted to try and go as long as I possibly could on soft tyres to basically just stick with them, maybe a bit of a spanner in the works. If I can hold them up and they're on slower tyres, that means that I'm going to gain effectively throughout the entire Grand Prix as a whole. So now I'm finally on medium tyres. I don't know, possibly they might be going on softs now at the end of the Grand Prix, or they may be, if they go into another set of mediums, then I've really gained there, because I've used 2 sets of softs and 1 set of medium, whereas they've used 2 sets of mediums and 1 set of softs. I don't think you'll be seeing many people using a set of hard tyres, just because it's not really, it's just too hard for this Grand Prix. I mean, we've seen in real life they're not going to use the hard tyres there, so I would only suspect maybe some of the lower runners would use it. Unfortunately, in the mod, there are still the hard tyres, available for this Grand Prix, unlike in real life now, the real British Grand Prix, there's no hard tyres available in that Grand Prix anymore. But now as we come out through side by side with Ricciardo, as he comes out his pit stop, so it's very, very close between me and the Australian, so we'll have to battle him. Looks like we've just about got the better of him through this corner, but no, he's going to stick it around the outside. He's actually kept his foot on the throttle, and he's actually going to overtake us in a straight line. So the Red Bull cars, surprisingly very, very fast in a straight line this Grand Prix, so I'm not too sure, maybe they've run less wing, but actually crucially we go down the inside, squirt the throttle through Luffield, so just like Alonso and Vettel did back in 2014 in the Red Bull and Ferrari car. Another Ferrari and Red Bull scrap through Luffield there, another scrap through the exit, and side by side, and oh so close, and I don't think either of us is going to lift off through Cop's corner. We're going to go side by side still. He's going to be there on the outside there. You can't see the proximity arrow, but there he goes, and actually bangs tyres with me, so it's all getting very argy-bargy. My teammates in the pit, so Vettel is finally going to come in for the medium tyres. We can see Bottas is now behind us, so we've jumped him. Or no, actually he was already behind us, wasn't he, before the pit stop phases. So actually I thought for a second that may have been Hamilton. So Hamilton, I think, is still well out in the lead of this Grand Prix. But where will Vettel come out, as we're going to make a move on Ricciardo now through Stowe, going to push him wide a little bit, and that's going to mean Bottas now goes side by side with him. So that's exactly what I need to try and kind of fend him off. But Bottas actually peels into the pit, so Bottas is really out of sync of this Grand Prix, because if he's coming in now, yeah, he's going to be so far behind. So I don't know what happened to Bottas, but yeah, he's really down the order. But where, as I was about to say, where is Vettel in all this? Because it's going to be very, very crucial. Let's go through turn 1. I think there he is in the distance, just about. I think I can see him. Yeah, there he is. Vettel is ahead of both of us there. So Vettel has actually made that overcut strategy I mentioned work. He's gone longer on the set of medium tyres, used the clean air there to his advantage. So now he finds himself in what will be P3. I'm not too sure who the third person is then up front. It may be a car that's out of sync, a lower car, maybe on the Toro Rosso, I think, because Sainz was leading the Grand Prix previously, yet to make a pit stop earlier on in the Grand Prix, wasn't it? So now we're just about defending from Ricciardo there, you can see through Luffield, and once again on lap 21 having to do more defending there. So a lot of defensive work in this second half of the Grand Prix between me and Ricciardo, and Ricciardo this time has the inside line, whereas previously I had the inside line on the previous attempt when I overtook him. But just about we can get it around the outside, get the traction off this curve curbing, and we're going to keep in P2. Vettel in P1 at the moment, actually. Hang on. What's happened there? That means Hamilton's gone down the order. What has gone on there? The two Mercedes cars have bottled their strategy as now Ricciardo goes down my inside into Copse for P2 in this Grand Prix. I'm down to P3. We're going to have to try and re-overtake the Australian. He's sparking away. We fade to the left, move to the right down the inside, and it's going to be a really nice sequence of corners here into Stowe towards that last chicane. Side by side once again, banging the side pod to the tyres. Once again, it's been a very, very contact-ridden Silverstone Grand Prix, or British Grand Prix, I should say. But what has happened to the two Mercedes cars? I'm scratching my head to see where they've lost this time. Have they just made an extra pit stop? If so, they've completely bottled what would have been a really strong 1-2 there. And so now with 4 laps to go, including this one, we go down the inside once again to Ricciardo, trying to fight for second place here and trying to maybe make it a 1-2 for Ferrari if we can at the British Grand Prix. We go down the inside, Ricciardo slows it down ever so much, so we have to try and give him the room. We're going to try and get the traction around the outside. It's going to be so close on the front right tyre to his left front tyre. He squeezes out and he's going to try and defend into turn 1. We try and get some slipstream. We go flat out through turn 1, but he blocks us off and brakes us a little bit. So Ricciardo doing a good job as we go into Village now. And so now we'll line ourselves up for the DRS, but we now cut on to the end of that lap actually, because nothing's got done in the Luffield section, so we have to wait until Maggins and Beckett to close up on him. Now down the main back straight towards Stowe once again, now with 3 laps to go, or 2.5 really, and so we've got DRS wide open once again. So many times we've done it. Now down the inside of Stowe, but this time can we do it? Go very aggressive, very late on the brake to try and squeeze him out, but Ricciardo once again really puts up a solid fight, but this time he's unable to do it, and we stay in P2 there for now through the final chicane, but he will come back at us because we've got 2 laps remaining and he will have DRS, and Verstappen is also not too far behind, so we have to be a bit wary. But it looks like my teammate Vettel has completely bolted. We can see now lap 25, I aggressively try and squeeze Ricciardo to the left hand side, no use. We take a really wide line to get a switchback move through the curbing of that entry and then through Luffield, trying to go round the outside of Ricciardo. It works out in 4th gear momentarily, but then we get pushed off, and Ricciardo is going to keep P2 through the exit off towards Copse. And now you can see on the bottom right, I'm running out of fuel as well, so I have to switch between lean and standard. And as we move on to the last lap of the Grand Prix, I'm trying my hardest to push as hard as I can through Maggins and Beckett. So we've now got just about enough fuel to make it to the end of this Grand Prix. I think we're going to open up DRS, and this is it. Last chance, last place to make the overtake now in the last lap of the Grand Prix. Here we go, down the inside towards Stowe for about the 5 millionth time now in this Grand Prix for P2. It's going to be Sebastian Vettel to cross the line to win the British Grand Prix, but who will be joining him on the second step of the podium? Here we go, round the outside of Ricciardo. He's going to have the better line though, because I have to tighten up for this next apex, and he's going to go round the outside and through the final corner. I'm going to lose out to him and run out of fuel there. You could probably hear just about there underneath my commentary. Ran out of fuel just across the line. I was actually very, very lucky that there wasn't a longer straight, that the finish line is so close here at Silverstone from the last corner through the apex. If it was a longer main straight to the finish line, I would have maybe even lost third place. You can see how close that finish was to Max Verstappen there on the timesheets. But it's my teammate that will get the glory here at the British Grand Prix. He's won another Grand Prix there. It's been a while since I've won one, but it doesn't really matter in the end, because although he does close up to me with some points, I'm still very, very comfortable in the championship. But great to see that he's climbing up there. But you can see there, Ricciardo now has broken into the 100-point barrier, as well as Hamilton there. But Ricciardo's getting ever closer to the Mercedes cars, only 2 points from Bottas and 3 points to Hamilton. So, and even Verstappen's getting right up there with 83 eventually. So both Red Bull cars going well once again in this Grand Prix. But you can see now utter domination for Ferrari. It's 333 points there to 211. So great stuff. You can see in the background there Kimi and Vettel clanking the champagne bottles, and it's a job well done there all round for the Ferrari boys. Would have liked to make it a 1-2, but unfortunately I ran out of fuel there, and just through that last corner had the tighter line. Ricciardo had the better exit. But guys, nonetheless, if you have enjoyed that episode, smash the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly F1 content. I've been Aarava. Hope you enjoyed it today, and I'll see you guys next time.